Marjorie Taylor Greene, as we all know, was kicked off of some of her committees yesterday, even by Democrats. And everyone, I'm not sure if everyone was celebrating it, but it was seemingly celebrated. Some kind of punishment came her way. I was one of those people that was thinking, hey, more could happen, but at least this is something. Maybe it'll send a message to her and others potentially like her that we need to calm this whole rhetoric down. And so I wanted to know what she thought first of it, which I kind of guessed. And then also, I assumed what the response would be. First, let's get to what Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying afterwards. And she tweeted this. I woke up early this morning, literally laughing, thinking about what a bunch of morons the Democrats plus 11 are for giving someone like me free time. In this Democrat tyrannical government, conservative Republicans have no say on committees anyway. Oh, this is going to be fun. So in other words, I'm going to rain hell. I'm going to do more of what I was already doing that you guys said that I did in the past that I'm not doing now, which she is. And then now she gets to run and terrorize and make more money, which she did point out as well. So she also, according to CNN, said, let's keep sending the message to the Democratic mob. We raised over $160,000 yesterday. We've already raised $100,000 today. Can we raise $50,000 more to defend my seat before midnight? Defend your seat how, first of all? I guess, in your next run, if that's what you're thinking about. So she's bragging about how much money she's already raised off of nonsense and how she wants to raise more. And I was thinking, who cares? Then our legal analyst, I came across her Twitter account and I was upset that I had to because this changed my mind. Adrienne Lawrence tweets, the only Congress would punish a person by giving them less work to do. They don't lose pay and their job is still 100% secure. They just have more free time. Remarkable. And I went, damn it, that's right. Well, so this punishment is given, and by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene said the same thing. Someone like me, free time to be more of an a-hole. And there she goes. And then Adrienne has to open my eyes for a minute and make me realize this. So please, can you elaborate?
No, exactly. It's like, I don't have a problem with them restricting her from being involved more in the legislative process. But at the end of the day, she wins. Like, come on. Who wouldn't want to get paid their exact salary and have free time? So that means I don't have to go to meetings and I don't have to sit around a bunch of people I generally don't like indoors. I can go out, run some nonsense elsewhere. Get out of here. That's supposed to be punishment. I really feel like this, all it does is reaffirm the fact that Congress has set this up for these lawmakers to win regardless of the situation or regardless of their misconduct or what they're engaged in. And I sure wish Congress would punish me. Like, just hit me with it hard if this is what we're gonna do. Continue giving me my full paycheck and take my work away. I need punishment.
Cenk changed my mind back.
Okay, well, I'll partially do that. First of all, I don't want her anywhere near the Education Committee. I don't want her input on education. She does the exact opposite. She's a lunatic who needs to educate herself first. She needs to set up her own education committee where she reads a book. So I agree with taking her off the committees. Although I don't think she should be kicked out of Congress because that's what her voters wanted crazy. They got crazy. I think they got the person they wanted. And that's democracy. So if she continues to threaten violence, that's different because then you're breaking the law and that should have consequences, et cetera. But for now, but by the way, you guys disagreed. We did a poll, tyt.com/polls. And you guys are like, I heard you, Cenk and Anna, but no, 80% of you want her kicked out of Congress, period, right? And so you can keep voting on that poll. I'm curious how it turns out. Anyways, tyt.com/polls to see all of our polls and you'll see that up at top. And But I have to agree with the general argument being made. The committees, and even to the point where I agree with Marjorie, part of what Marjorie Taylor Greene said in that tweet, those committees are not nearly as important as people think they are. And it's actually how Democratic leadership gets progressives to comply a lot. Oh, well, we won't give you a committee assignment. Ooh, right? And if you're in the minority, it matters even less. You have almost no input. The one thing that matters about committees are the chairman of the committee. So Richie Neal, for example, is the chair of the House Ways and Means Committee. It's the most powerful committee because it controls the money. And that's a super powerful position because then he could kill any bill, he could advance any bill, he could change any bill. And so, for example, we had, in a shocking development, gotten enough Republicans to agree to end surprise medical billing. But Richie Neal gets a ton of campaign donations from both directly those companies, but also private equity companies that make a lot of money from surprise medical billing. So he unilaterally killed a bipartisan bill that even a lot of Republicans had agreed to, because the country hates surprise medical billing. It's, you think you went to a place where you're in network and you're not going to get charged. You're in the hospital. Sometimes you're literally sedated. You're unconscious, and a doctor that's not in your network comes in and treats you. They never asked you, and then they send you a surprise medical bill of like $5,000, $35,000. It's devastating. Everybody hates it, but Richie Neal's like, accept my donors, and since I'm the chair of the Ways and Means Committee, I kill it. Haha. So the chairs of the committees are very important. And that's why it was such a big deal when Jamal Bowman knocked out Elliot Engel, because he was the chair of a committee for the Democrats. So, and that was why it was a big deal when AOC knocked out Joe Crowley, who was in Democratic leadership. That's why progressives are having a big impact here. But you're in the minority party and you're on a committee, who cares that you have no power at all? So she's right about that. The other thing that she was right about was, look, unfortunately, we have to defeat what she's saying. If you let it fester, what happened with QAnon happens. And then you wake up one day and a giant chunk of the country thinks that Democrats eat babies, literally, and do brain juice harvesting, et cetera. So you got to fight back. But when you fight back, you do accidentally give more publicity to that person. She's now infinitely more famous, and hence has more power. It's true, she could raise more money for herself. She could raise more money for other lunatics who are gonna run for Congress, and it does give her power. I'll give you a good example. Remember when Robinhood shut down the trades for GameStop and some of the other stocks, and people were outraged? You know what happened next? So many more people signed up for Robinhood. They made a killing from that. Even though they were heavily criticized, they made way more money. And they got more investors as well because they got so many more customers, because publicity, it's a hell of a thing. And so she's right about it. Now, the thing that she's not right about, of course, is the substance. So she pretended to apologize in that press conference, and immediately afterwards, and on the floor of the House, and immediately afterwards, she comes out and she's like, I didn't mean any of it. I'm not remotely apologetic. I'm thrilled that you guys talked about my insane conspiracy theories so I can make more money off my insane conspiracy theories. And she never apologized for the Jewish space laser or any of her insanity. So,
no, you're right.
Unfortunately, yeah, she's going to get more shine out of this, if you will, and the madness will continue. And that's because the other Republicans have not actually imposed any real consequences for her anti-Semitism, for threats of violence, and for all of her insanity.
Well, their hope. I'm sorry, Adrienne, if you were going to.
Oh no,
that, but,
I agree.
Their hope was that, because Steve King is, former congressman of Iowa. He was kicked off his committees by the Republicans, though, and Kevin McCarthy. Unlike this case, and then in the next cycle, he lost a primary because they put up people to make sure he was done. Now, in this case, she's a freshman congresswoman or congressperson, and then so when she comes in, she has this beginnings of something. Like Steve King is the old guy, although he's a very good racist and still is on the same lines that many of these Republicans are here now. He was the older guard. They like this new woman that comes in, and they have this new voice that sounds a lot like Trump. Now, maybe where she's playing it wrong is that she's going hard with the Trumpism and like, Trump backs me. Hey, look, I'm the biggest name now. And yeah, all this promotional. I hear the arguments about promoting her more and making her more powerful and all that stuff, and maybe people shouldn't talk about it. But honestly, the people that listen to her don't need us to talk about her for them to be inspired by her. So that inspiration is still gonna happen no matter what. So ignoring it, I feel, is sometimes there's gray area to it. There's some people I ignore, and then there's times I ignore them and don't. But I don't think that we've fueled her popularity that she wouldn't have had otherwise. There's a reason why she already got elected, because she already had some level of popularity because of the things that she believed in, things that she said. Let's keep it real. So getting her off of a committee, if Republicans had done this, it's not like they were gonna oust her from the party like they did Steve King, because they're becoming her. So I think it's okay to talk about her. I think it's okay to point out things she says and does, because in the future she's going to continue to do and say those things. She's basically promised that. So if we focus on that, look what just happened to Donald Trump. He thought he was riding high because there was Trump golf carts, and there was Trump boats and Trump trucks. He still lost. Because sometimes when you continue to promote the most hateful things that you have to say in the country, people start noticing and go, yeah, I don't like you. I don't like this guy. Now, the next step is making sure those people that have discovered how much they don't like her get a chance to vote in the next election that she's up for. Because that's what Republicans are preparing for now. They know they're unpopular. They know the majority of the country doesn't like them. They've always known this. But the objective now is to make sure people can't vote them out.
Yeah. Yep, that's sure. That's definitely what they seem to be doing in Georgia. And I think with Marjorie Taylor Greene that they are holding on to her because she gets to do their dirty work. That's what they enjoy, letting this person go out there. Some of them will call her a lunatic, crazy, all sorts of things, but they enjoy the fact that she is rallying those minions, that she is able to keep them attached and affiliated with the party. But once the moment she gets a little too dangerous, I think that they're going to cut her loose easy, kind of to some extent what they did to Trump. And I think that, but they enjoy her right now. And so they are going to keep her at arm's length and just ride it out.
Last thing is the uneven playing field. So Ilhan Omar says that lobbyists care about money. They censure her and pretend it's anti-Semitic. It's ridiculous. And Marjorie Taylor Greene says the Rothschilds have a space laser that they start fires with and kill people with to make money. I'm not sure it can get any more anti-Semitic than that. And the Republicans are like, oh, we won't even take her off the committee. We will not punish her in any way, shape, or form. Al Franken takes a joke photograph and the Democrats kick him out of the Senate. She says, hey, you want to execute Nancy Pelosi? I'm here for it. Right? And they're like, nope, no consequences at all. And those are the same guys who pretended to be outraged by Al Franken's photograph. Mm-hmm. So understand what slime politicians are, and particularly Republicans.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, we really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.